We are live. This is Rich Lieberman, and I'm going to talk about the ratings in San Francisco, the radio ratings that were released a few days ago, and give you my analysis. A few things that I wanted to point out also. Several of you asked me, why did I delete the video on my post earlier today, which is Wednesday, with regards to KTVU. And in fact, I didn't delete it. I had on inadvertently left on CNN, and somebody with a lot of time on their hand reported it, and it was a violation. YouTube didn't get down on me. They just told me that I can't use CNN and nothing other than that. So the conspiracy theorists and all that, and you're going to get it, you're shutting down. No. So instead, what I've decided to do from now on is I'm just going to have in the background porno. And most of it will be myself. And I don't know if you remember the woman, Tallulah Bankhead, and she was part of Bewitched. She played the grandmother. We made several porn movies in the late 70s, and we stored them away. And upon her leaving our planet, on her deathbed, she asked me if, out of respect and kindness to her, if I would release the videos that we made. And I told her, if that's what you want, that's what I want. And she gave me this weird sort of thing before she departed. And it was something like this. I don't know. So I haven't made a decision yet, but okay. It's a joke. It was a joke. Because people will see that and they'll, hey, Lieberman's doing porno. Let's go report him. It was a joke. It was a joke. Maybe not funny, but it was a joke. Although Tallulah Bankhead, wow. Talk about, although in her heyday, very, very, very impressive looking young lady. Anyway, all right. So go from Tallulah Bankhead and me and porno to the ratings. So as I've often stated, for those of you that don't know, the radio ratings, and I'm going to post the link so you can click on it and look at see what your favorite radio stations, those of you that listen actually to radio these days. So KCBS, they went up about 9 points. Keep in mind, folks, KCBS is a monopoly. Of course they would go up. When there's nobody else doing what you do, you're bound to go up. You'd have to be very, very, very crappy, which KCBS is. But even somebody, I guess, has to listen. This time of the year, too, it's a little weaker. It's not like the holidays when people are completely tuning out. But keep in mind, these ratings are what's referred to as the beauty contest numbers. They are not the mechanism to which the advertisers look at and say, we're going to buy based on this. They do not buy based on these numbers. However, as I've often stated, they are an indication of the overall trend, good or bad, or in the middle, of a particular radio station. KNBR went down because people were excited about the Giants, which KNBR is the flagship radio station of the Giants. But when that waned, you have KNBR now going down again. Folks, here's the deal. And by the way, 95.7 The Game, completely irrelevant now because they were carrying the Warriors and they had a good little bump with regards to the NBA playoffs because the Warriors, as you know, made the playoffs. There was a lot of interest. now that there's no more basketball for the Warriors, a reflection of 95.7 The Game's talk show product is, or I call that the KNBR effect, because most of 95.7 The Game's people are KNBR rejects, because that's what it is in this town. They can't hire somebody new and exciting and different. They go and they pick up these retreads like Dan Dibley and Mark Willard. Hey, Mark, why don't you tell us another story about your visit to one of those high dollar Whole Foods in Marin County and you picking up a mustard. Very exciting and has a lot to do with sports, right, Mark? Oh, my God. So 95.7 The Game is pretty much irrelevant, which is one of the reasons why I don't talk much about 95.7 The Game. There's nothing to talk about. They're downtrodden. I'm just giving you, not my opinion, I'm giving you the facts. Stations. And the majority of the radio stations, Star 101.3, okay. Coit did its usual, self. And, most of these stations, folks, are just kind of barely turning any kind of a profit. Most are losing money. The fact of the matter is radio is just a bygone era. The stereo radio, Sirius XM, satellite radio, the only stations that have a pulse, not just in the Bay Area, but around the country. Although in more bigger markets, there is more sports talk, there's more enthusiasm, there's more care. And yes, while these other big stations in other markets that I've told you about, like New York and Chicago and even LA and Boston, Philadelphia, they just simply have better talent. They carry their local teams, but there is more of a variety. The people that they hire to do sports talk are vastly superior to the schlemiels that we have here. We have no sports talk radio here. We have former Uber drivers and kids whose daddy got them jobs, literally and figuratively. They're not very funny. They're not very talented. And it's just, when is football season? That's basically what it is. Because these schmuckos, it's like listening to garbage. Watching paint dry would be more interesting. Watching more porno would definitely be more interesting and not involving me and Tallulah Bankhead. So I'm going to link up the radio ratings. These are from May of this year, May of 2025, and you can see what your favorite radio station did or did not. Keep in mind, once again, become a paid subscriber to my site here, whether you're watching live or at your most convenient. Remember, folks, you can always watch me later date. Tell your friends, your enemy, your priest, your rabbi, your lawyer, your doctor, your plumber, Dr. Oz. That is one cool cat, Or, there's a big listener of mine. In fact, we're going to bring him around here. The one and only Louisiana Lightning, the Ragin' Cajun. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only James Carville. Lieberman, you always make a point of saying you are one cool cat. I will say that, but you're like the Democrats now. You're just unpredictable. What the hell is going on with the Democrats? What the hell is going on with Lieberman? And you got the head. All right. Oh, that's funny, Lieberman. You're one funny bastard. You're kind of like the Democratic Party right now. You're just unpredictable and funny, if you know what I mean. Well, why don't you talk to my good friend up in heaven, the one and only former President Nixon? He's got more astute analysis. I will try to ring. Hey, Dickie Nixon. I resent that I am not a crook. I never was a crook. And look what you're stuck with now. The unrelenting bizarrity and goofiness that is Donald J. Trump. When I was president, I made sure that America was first. I am not a crook then or even in heaven. Now look at me, I'm just one raving lunatic. So help me. Okay. Back to reality. So please become a member and remember, trolls, you have a discount. It's $50, no coffee mugs, and my favorite book, The Ancient History and Current History Involving Tallulah Bankhead. Arrivederci.